All right, so this community member got paid 1,500 euros as his first client, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'm going to help him deliver this project. Should be a good way to provide value to you guys, since you'll see the actual delivery process, not just theory, but what happens after you close the deal, so you guys can get up and running yourselves. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through his win, scope the project, build it. That way you have everything that you need and a clear roadmap from someone who's built this exact system hundreds of times at a 7-figure agency. So if that's something you guys you'd be interested in, stay tuned and let's get into it. First, client payment landed. Hey masters, I have ascended, lol. German SaaS works with publishers and online magazines all through the UE. Very interesting niche. That's actually true. Very interesting niche. Will be a challenge to reach out to all the different regions, but hardship is our bread and butter. 6-week pilot, 1,500 euros and 10% commission for all signed magazines. Let's grind. Saad, thanks for the guidance, brother. No worries, my friend. So I believe he posted this probably a week ago, and I hopped on a call with him, and I essentially just showed him kind of like the roadmap on how he can build this system, and he actually delivered for his clients. So I'm gonna walk you guys through, first of all, like what happens after you close a client, because that's pretty important. So what happens after you close a client, Saad? Well, typically there's a phase that's called the kickoff phase or the onboarding, which is typically like a phase that every agency has to go through, which is kind of like where you hop on a call, like 15 to 20-minute call. You talk with the prospect that you just closed. Obviously, this happens after they pay you. Never hop on this call if the payment is not received in your exact bank account. Never make this mistake, okay? The money should be received, the proposal signed, not just signed, by the way, not just proposal signed, but actually money received, all right? And then after that, you just schedule like a 15 to 20-minute call, and then you just hop in to kind of like share credentials, talk about the project scope, set the expectations, define your availability, really important because they can't expect to just talk to you every single day or like every 5 minutes pinging you. So you want to define that. What I do is usually Monday to Friday, I just hop on Slack. So I add them in like a Slack channel. So after that, I just essentially just answer a couple questions and I give them progress updates like 2 to 3 times per week. Okay. And after that, you start the project, right? All right, so now let me walk you through what his client does, because you might be wondering. So his client helps European news websites make more money by letting readers choose whether they want to see ads for free or pay like $3.49 a month for ad-free reading. Who they want to talk to? They essentially just want to talk to CEOs and revenue leaders at European digital publishers, news sites, online magazines. Okay, so very, very straightforward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of like map out the entire system, right? So like I said, his clients helps European news website make more money by letting readers choose. So we want a way to find where these European news websites actually hang out. So you might be thinking, Saad, well, can we do Apollo? Can we do LinkedIn? Yes, you can do it. But I think this is the best way to do it, just basically go for like industry databases. Now, this is kind of like sort of like an advanced way to gather leads and scrape leads, because there's multiple lead sourcing databases, as you guys already know. Maybe this is your first time watching this and you don't know what a lead sourcing database. A lead sourcing database is essentially just like a lead sourcing database. There's like a bunch of leads there, and you typically just have to pay to export, or you want to use like another platform. There are multiple platforms, kind of like Epify, that provide like kind of like a marketplace for scrapers. Scrapers are tools that allow you to extract data from these lead sourcing database. Now, you might be familiar with obviously LinkedIn. Okay, there's one. There's two, kind of like Apollo. There's also Crunchbase. Now, LinkedIn and Apollo, by the way, Apollo pulls data from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of like the big whale, right? Because it has all the contacts of the B2B space and also B2C, to be honest. And Crunchbase, it only lists like recently funded companies, huge companies. It also includes investor details, right? So AI startups. There's also YC Combinator. So we can kind of like find these companies like AI startups or like recently funded companies too. Data is limited in Y Combinator, but Crunchbase has more data. Okay, so these are like the big giant ones. There's also like a couple ones like Zoom Info, which is kind of like a more of a advanced platform, but in reality, you're going to use these three most of the time, like LinkedIn, Apollo, Crunchbase. There's another one called XAI. I have a couple videos on this channel about XAI. XAI is kind of like it's kind of like Apollo or like LinkedIn using AI on steroids. So essentially, you could just put anything here, like recruitment agencies, you could put whatever you want, and they kind of like compile the data. They have like big, expensive AI agents that browse the internet and extract data for you. Okay. But there's also a couple ways, okay, to gather data that most people don't actually know about, which is industry databases. Now, industry databases is very interesting because there's databases for every industry. Now, if you just do a little bit of research, you're going to find that there are a lot of gold mining data that might not be in like Crunchbase or like Apollo or like LinkedIn, right? So these databases, they're just publicly on the internet. Some are paid, some are free, but I would say like 60 to like 70% of them are actually free. So the one that we're going to be using, right? Let me pick another color so I can map out. So let me take the green. I like the green, to be honest. Okay, so we need a platform to gather these leads, which are, since his clients is European news websites. So this is a platform, I believe it's called W3 News website. It has, I believe, all the news websites in the world. So we're gonna scrape it, right? So scrape it. So scrape this. We're gonna scrape it. I'm gonna show you guys how we can do it. Have no idea, but we're probably gonna use like a couple Google extensions, right? Chrome extensions, like Brave extensions. Once we do that, typically when you scrape news websites, based off my experience, you get the domain. So you get the domain / the company name. All right, but that's not enough. We need like other things. We need kind of like the decision maker within the company, because like we said, we want to talk to CEOs and revenue leaders at European digital publishers. So we need to enrich, okay? So in terms of like enrichment, we need to find kind of like these persona. Persona is kind of like a job title, just a fancy way to say job title. We need enrichment. So we're going to use People Data Lab, which is a very interesting platform that allows you to find. So essentially you just give it like the domain and they try to find the decision makers within that domain. They also give you their job title, their LinkedIn, everything, which is awesome. And once we do that, we need to verify emails. Because this platform, like I said, People Data Labs also gives you the emails, which is absolutely insane. So we're not gonna trust it though. We need to verify the emails because some people change jobs. Some people, for example, let's say you bought, like let's pretend we are the decision maker within that company, and let's say we didn't buy the last subscription like Google, like Microsoft in our professional email. Maybe the email is not working. Maybe the decision maker changed jobs. So we need to kind of like try to verify the email. So the way these email enrichment platform works is that they ping, like they send like a request to that email, kind of like they send them, hey, like a handshake. And if the email actually responds, well, obviously it's going to be valid. If it doesn't respond, well, it's invalid. But we're gonna scratch that. We don't want to deal with invalid because that kills deliverability. By the way, in terms of deliverability, there's like a lot of noise about like Google suspending accounts. It's just bullshit, guys. Like, don't listen to this stuff. I've been listening to this stuff for the past 5 years. People were like, Google suspends Microsoft deliverability, Apify dead, all this stuff. Like, I've heard this for the past 5 years, and it's just bullshit. It's just that people don't know how to read between the lines. When you see someone does this, the reason why you will never see me like post all these videos about hype and FOMO, oh, this crazy thing happened, because it's just a way to induce hype. And within that hype, they create FOMO, which means they're trying to make money, right? They're trying to make money and pull traffic through their channel, whatever funnel that they have, so they can make money, right? So just give that some thoughts, all right? And this is something coming from someone who actually does this every single day, fulfilling for his clients. It's just bullshit. Just ignore the noise, do the work. It's kind of like the Zen quote that I love, the Japanese quote. Every single day, chop wood and carry water. Just ignore the noise, right? So after that, we're gonna generate the copy using AI. So we're gonna generate some sort of like AI personalization. Okay? It's gonna be very, very AI personalized. And the last step is gonna be just plug to instantly. You're wondering what instantly is? Basically like a cold email software that allows you to send millions of outreach messages a month. Okay, so this is kind of like the scope, right, of high level. Obviously, when you want to build this system, like usually you think like it's only like 5 steps, but there's like a million modules. But it could be the opposite. We never know. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this right now. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this website. I believe it's news business W3. Oh, yeah. W3 newspapers. Now, check this out. Words, newspapers, news sites, magazines, online. Now, like you would know about this website, right? You have to do a little bit of research. You do have to do a little bit of digging. And you can see that we have a gold mine here, don't you guys think? Magazine categories, Caribbean, Asia, Africa, Europe, which is our target. So a bunch of stuff here, even Kenya, Norway. So as you can see, like if you do a little bit of digging, you will find that there's a bunch of industry databases that allow you to gather data without you like going for like Apollo or like LinkedIn. Obviously, you're going to be using them like 90% of the time. But I'm just saying, okay, you can definitely add these to like your toolbox, right? But yeah. So what do we want? We want Europe. And I click on Europe. I mean, just like a simple person came to this website, I want to scrape. So there's a bunch of ones here. Now he told me that his clients, he needs like a system that allows him to reach Italy, a bunch of European countries. But we're just gonna go and skim through this, and let's see. So there's the UK, okay, within Europe, awesome. All right, so we have the top newspapers in the United Kingdom. Obviously, there's like a bunch of big ones that we don't want. He told me that I believe his client wants to, like, he wants mid-size. So I'm not those huge ones. So we're going to do some data cleanup, obviously. But this is already pretty good to me. All right. Now, let me click on this because I can't see the website. Oh, there we go. Oh, there is a website here. So we need the website. I believe we can do something cool. Okay, how do we get the website? I believe there's like an extension called Website Grabber. I think I do have it. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, Link Grabber. Yeah, there is. So there's Link Grabber. Yeah. Of course, I do have it. So this is like a Google extension that allows you to extract the websites from like kind of like hidden HTML. So let's actually try this because I already have that. Like I have it downloaded. So make sure you download it because you want to implement too. Link Grabber. Oh, there we go. So we found it. See how it grabs the HTML? Now, you can see there's a bunch of things here. You can copy this entire thing, but we don't want these. So hide duplicate links. Yes. Hide blocked links. Hide same origin. Yes. Okay, great. So I have this. Now I need to copy it. So I can simply just click on copy. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this into a Google Sheets. So extracted links. From news. So obviously I'm going to use Geese, my best font. Going to use domains, name this domains. Going to make this a little bit bigger and bold. So how do I do this? Well, I'm simply going to click on copy, paste, done. Now, obviously some of them are pretty huge, but I can just skim through this. So domains, UK. Now, keep in mind, his clients just want the entire, like Europe. So you can definitely go back and get from Italy and kind of like segments by country. And you're going to get thousands. But for the purpose of this video, we're not going to do this because it's the same thing. You're just going to add more. right? From other countries. But just reading through this, there's a bunch of things here that need cleanup. We only need like .com. We don't need like this crazy stuff /business, because these are kind of like the redirects. Obviously, Daily Mail, we don't care about it because it's not his client. I'm going to delete these links. And delete also this BBC. Obviously, BBC is huge. We don't want that, right? Imagine he connects his client with BBC. That would be crazy, right? Imagine the money. Delete this. Can definitely have like an AI that skims through this, but I'm all about doing things that don't scale first. Just kind of like validate how the system works, and then we can do all this. So obviously, yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to just delete this last one, BBC. Awesome. So this is all I need. So I have the domains. Well, how can I enrich based off the domains? First of all, I need to clean up these URLs. Now it's time for automation. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to make, and I'm simply going to use AI to clean all this up and kind of like build a system that does this for me, right? Let me check if I'm recording. Yes, I am. I'm going to create a new scenario. So I'm just using make.com. It's kind of like a no-code tool. You can totally use N8N, but you guys know me. I'm a platform agnostic guy. Whether it's like N8N, like make.com, I just hate Zapier, right? I'm more like a more visual guy. You guys like this too? To be honest, I like Make. Make, you can, like, I made so much money using Make that when I switch to N8N, it's just not the same, right? Make is just very visual. I remember I used to sell these systems for clients, and like they look at the make.com, just look beautiful. But in terms of N8N, it just looks tech savvy, right? So obviously, since we have like this in a Google Sheets, what do we want? Well, we want Google Sheets, right? So we need to pull the data, and the module is going to be search rows, right? Spreadsheet ID is basically, you can take the spreadsheet ID, which is going to be here. So it's going to be after /D and before edit. But you can just copy this, very simple. Copy. And put this here. If you see this like sheet name, it's usually the name of the sheet, whatever you name this. By default, in Google Sheets, it's going to be sheet 1. Sheet 1. The limit is going to be 1. All right. So if I run once, obviously I'm going to get the website. But how do we go from website to actual person and copy AI generated? It's a good question. So it's going to be pull domains. Well, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So pull domains. First of all, I need to clean up the website URLs. So I'm simply going to use AI for this. So create a chat completion. I'm just using OpenAI Azure because I have a bunch of credits here. You can use any AI model that you want, right? Doesn't really matter. But I found that Claude is way better in terms of like writing copy. Obviously, you guys cannot see anything here. So I'm simply going to put myself here. Done. All right. So what comes after this? Well, we want to do just a little bit of prompt engineer. It's not going to be crazy. So return the website URL as in websites.com or .uk, since it's like, okay, since it's like UK, obviously it's always going to be UK, right? There's no .com. There is .com or .com. Don't include www or HTTP. Here's an example. For example, I'm going to put my website. Actually, the best way to train an AI model by giving an example from the actual data that you have. I'm just going to copy this one. Your return mirror.co.uk. Don't include anything else but the end results. And I'm simply going to feed it the website. Very simple task for AI. Awesome. So this is going to be clean URLs. So what comes after that? Well, we're going to be using the People's Data Labs. So this is the platform. So I believe like my cookie and this website is kind of like expired, but whatever. I'm going to use a private window. In your case, you're not going to have that. Probably I need just to clean up my history, whatever. So this is called API Playground. This is the one that I want. And the one that I want is person identify, I believe. No, people search. Now, I think I already have like a couple URLs for this. So what you want to do is you want to click on this plus button, look for an HTTP right in front of you. It's going to be make a request. So you want to go to this URL. It's called api.peoplesdatalabs.com v5 person search. This is the endpoint. I believe it's a post request. I believe it's a get. I think it's get. You want to make sure to go to headers, and it's going to be x.api.key, I believe. Yes. And in terms of like the API key, it's in here. You want to go to API Playground, API keys, and copy your API key. Paste it here. Now here's where it gets interesting. You want to go and parse the response. Go to body type raw. Content type is going to be JSON. And you want to exactly copy this request. So it's this one because it has like SQL. This platform is called People Data Labs. They have like a pretty weird documentation. They just make it confusing. I don't know why, but you want to put the website here. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing. And we're just going to put the website here. Did this twice. So I believe that's pretty much it. Let me just save and let's see. Done. So by the way, let me explain what happened here. So I'm just giving them the website and I'm saying job title in director VP CXO. So this is kind of like the decision maker that wants, that his clients wants to talk to. And the system is going to allow them to do this at scale automatically. So this is like a search in terms of like the C level, right? I believe it's C level. Yes. So instead of like querying founder, we're going for like the C level of the company. So we can pull all the decision makers that fall within that decision maker criteria, okay, which is going to be the founder, owner, or like the revenue partner. So let's check this out and see the data. Data here, data here. Okay, so we found the actual person. So Elizabeth Perry. Awesome. Is it the one? I've been drinking these all of day. I should probably stop. So the Sun, newspaper publishing. Yeah, it's really good. So this is, I think this is the main guy here. By the way, make sure to connect with me with LinkedIn on LinkedIn. I accept everyone. And I love you guys' messages. Love it. So I don't think we have an email here. Do we do? Do we have an email? So sometimes you're not going to find the email. Yeah. But it's fine because we can find the email using other ways, right? This is the LinkedIn URL of the decision maker. Let's actually check. Let me check if I'm recording, by the way. Oh yeah, I'm recording. I have to keep in mind because like I have the Canon M50 EOS and it stops at like the 30-minute mark. And I believe this is like pretty typical with every camera. Yeah, so this is the decision maker. Great. Awesome. Thank you. So we have a bunch of things in the UK. Okay. So this is going to be Enrich, decision maker. So what happens after this, Saad? Well, usually we need to find the verified emails where we don't have the emails. So what we want to do is add a filter because sometimes you will find the emails. So we're not going to like deal with that, right? So we're going to go to router and we're going to add like a filter here. So if email, work email exists, email exists, we're going to verify it. If it does not exist, we're going to have to just like the little story and I'll do it myself, right? We're going to have to find our own email. I believe I read this in like Pooh Charlie's Almanac. He was kind of like explaining how if your teachers, mentors, like don't have like a multidisciplinary approach of having multiple ideas, not just being agnostic to one idea, history over ideology, you want to do it yourself, right? Just pick your own ideas. Email. So we actually found this email here, mail online, but I don't trust it. I don't really trust it because it has to be within the company. But anyways, since work email does not exist, email does not exist, we're gonna have to find it our own way. So the way we're gonna find is you're gonna use a platform called an email finder, which is gonna be search for a person's email. Now, this is how you do it. I already have like my own platform that finds emails for me, which is the SSM Masters. And the reason why I built this platform is because like these in email enrichment platforms like an email finder, hunter.io, they're quite expensive. And this is something that it was like a limited belief back then. I'm like, man, gotta pay for this in email finder. So I kind of like just built my own right now because now I have actually the resources to do it. Back then I didn't. But yeah, this is the platform that I use. I can totally use it, but I'm not, since you guys need to follow along. And it's kind of like the same thing as an email finder, just free, right? So I'm just gonna go to app. And I already have a couple credits here. So I'm gonna go to API and I'm simply just gonna copy this API key, paste it here. I'm gonna name this demo YouTube, for example. So I want to search by domain, and the domain is the domain and the full name, name, Lizzie Party. So I want to capitalize. So capitalize, I believe it's capitalize. Make the full name capitalized and make start case. Yeah. Oh yeah, start case, not capitalized. Capitalize is just the first word. Okay, sweet. Save. Let's see if any email finder is gonna find the email. I'm not really sure. Obviously, it's a 50-50% because the way these email enrichment platform works is they ping the website. Oh, we found it. See? Told you. It has to be within the website. I don't trust this. Okay? I don't trust. I don't trust this. Find email. Like my bullshit detector is triggered. So since we now can verify the email, let's try and add the email verification. So again, I'm simply just going to use an email finder because they also have like a validate email endpoint. I got to make sure demo YouTube is the right endpoint, and work email is going to be here. Obviously, it's only going to pass through here if it's actually, if it exists. So valid or like verify email. I'm actually curious. I wanted to check if this email actually is like a, like this. Yeah, I need to run it, unfortunately. That's the weird part about Make, is that it can't allow you to just ping your data. Have to like waste another credit. Let me look for email. Where's the email? Oh, there we go. Professional. Okay, let's check if it's actually professional. I knew it. It's catch-all. You guys wondering what catch-all is? Catch-all is essentially catch-all meaning email. Catch-all is a feature that directs all emails sent to a domain to a single designated inbox, even if the recipient's address doesn't exist. So versus valid. A valid email is confirmed. Existing email address that is already receiving. A catch-all is a service setting where email sent by any address to email will be accepted, even if the specific recipient doesn't exist. See, this is why I don't trust it. Okay, awesome. So verify email, etc. So what happens after this? Let me save this, auto align, find email, verify email. Well, now we need a way to actually generate a copy. Well, this platform, People Data Labs, they give you like a good amount of data, actually, a lot. But I need a couple things. So I manage a team of special journalists and columnists from the Sun's London office. Went over 10 years of experience. Should we use this? in terms of like personalization, or should we scrape the website? Not really sure. Yeah, let's just use the summary. I think we're gonna like get the same outputs using AI. Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna get the same outputs. So I'm simply gonna add another AI model, Azure, create a completion. And I'm simply going to use like a couple of my methods, which is kind of like the anti-fragile method, which is a method that I came up with because I realized that AI models suck at writing. I mean, they got better now, but still sucks. So you kind of like just give AI like a placeholder prompt and then you give it like a perfect output. And AI is really, really good at writing in constrained variables. What do I mean by constrained variables? Well, let me explain. So these are constrained variables. You see this, right? So you want to put, for example, here, pain points, or like industry. And then you give it within like an outreach copy. And AI is going to read through this based off the perfect example, is going to fill it every single time. So within the constrained variable, because it's a rule for AI to not like go crazy and hallucinate. It's just kind of like, it's called the anti-fragile method, right? AI is great at filling templates, but AI sucks at writing entire outreach copies, landing pages, whatever, right? We still haven't got into that level where AI actually is good. But maybe in the next few years, who knows, right? Maybe you're watching this in the next 5 years and AI can actually like, I don't know, walk your dog. All right. So what I'm going to do is going to write like a prompt right now. So I had to pause the recording to come up with this prompt. It took like 10 minutes and I didn't want to include like just me thinking, right? Just trying to come up with a prompt. So generate a brief compliment for a digital publisher in, and in, we're going to add data. In what? In Europe, or we can do London, England. Okay. For we need the company name. So what is the actual company name here? The Sun. Start with congrats and keep it under 10 words. Example, congrats on being one of the UK's top publishers, or congrats on your strong reach across Germany. Great. So let's see. All right, let's check this out. Congrats on your impactful presence in London's media scene. That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. AI personalization. Well, let's just name this 101 message. Okay, so what comes after this? Well, I need to plug this into like a dream email. I'm going to add a variable, set variable. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to name this dream email. And I name this, hey. So what's the actual person? So Lizzie. So, okay, so I have the full name, which is great. It's called Lizzie Perry. So how do we get the first name? We're simply going to use like a make.com formula. I want to split based off a space and then get one. So you're kind of like splitting based off this little space here. See this little space by Lizzie and Perry. So you want to split Lizzie, Perry, not literally, and get the one. And two is basically Perry. So hey, hey Lizzie, and I can add congrats, blah blah blah. Actually, no, I need to be honest. Yeah, AI like this copy, like AI generated copy has to be honest. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, okay, so hey, Lizzie came across company name and X, Y, and Z, because there's no reason why we should not say that. I mean, it's very relevant. I came across your website, not websites. I came across you in the European newspaper, and congrats on X, Y, and Z, right? Why should we not say that? It just triggers a little bit of authenticity. And you guys can totally use this whenever you write in like an outreach copy. Just tell them, like tell the lead that where you found them, right? They're going to appreciate it. So what I can say, hey, first name, saw. So you see this capitalize? I'm just using capitalize to capitalize the first, like the first character of the company, because it's the Sun, lowercase. So saw company name in the W3 News directory and adding the AI outputs. I've been connecting European publishers with a monetization platform that helps you grow reader revenue without breaking the ad stack or risking GDPR fines. Recently connected Ladable to the same platform. They boosted digital rev by 10% with no changes to ad ops, with an intro. So this is like the AI copy that the system is going to generate. So let's check this out. Great. Hey Lizzie, saw the sun in the W3 News directory. Congrats on aspiring stories that light up in the UK. Wow, that's a really good copy. Congrats on aspiring stories that light up in the UK. Nobody would say that this is AI generated and the system actually generated this. It's very 101, right? So from one domain, we got this. Very interesting what you can do with sales systems, right? Which is the reason why I always say, hey, focus on sales systems. By the way, focus on sales systems because they automate lead gen and companies need customers. And if you can automate it, you'll always be rich. But yeah, sadly, most people are still selling like random AI automations. You know, it's very unfortunate, but condition, I'm going to add email. Actually, no, I'm going to add validation equals to valid. Is valid. So now I only have to copy and paste this. And since I don't have this, I'm going to add validation equals valid because it's the same thing. Now, in terms of the full name, I'm going to get it from full name. But here's the issue. You know what? I'm going to delete this so I don't. Hey. So this is the full name. All right. So I need to capitalize the first one. Or maybe I can use start case. Close this. And then I can split based off a one. Yes, one. No. Based off a space and then get one. Yeah. Done. And then I can say saw and then I can add company. Let me copy it from here. So saw. Yeah, saw. Company name, and we're going to add the results, which is going to be AI. Done. All right, done. Awesome. So everything looks good to me. Let me save this. Great. Now the last step is basically, like we said, plug everything to instantly. Right. Awesome. So I'm going to add instantly here. Instantly. Add or create lead. I believe it's create lead. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go to instantly create a campaign, obviously. All right. Close these tabs. Go to campaigns, create, go back. Demo. Great. So I have the campaign here. You go here. Is it this one? No. I believe this is the one. This is the one. Demo. So the email is the email. Personalization is going to be the entire copy. The website, since we do have the website. Yeah. In terms of instantly, you want to add HTTP. So we can plug it here. HTTP. And then the last name, full name. So splits based off a space. And then gets 2. So gets 2. Now we're going to get 1 since it's 1. Just change to 1. The company name is name. I'm going to use start case. Done. Sweet. So now I'm just going to copy this. I don't have to redo the entire thing. I'm just going to remap everything. In terms of the results, the email, yeah, it's going to be work email because we're going to pull this from work email. Personalization, the entire copy, which is going to be dream email. Let me check if I'm recording. Yes, perfect. All right, input full name. So the last name, all right, let me just go to name. Same thing. Start case. And then what else? So split based off a space. And then get 2. Done. Now it's going to be a 1. And then same thing goes here. So let's check. Oh, I don't want you to explain the flow. All right, awesome. So I have everything here, right? So I'm going to add personalization. Let me refresh and see. Hey Lizzie, saw this on the W3 News directory. Congrats on shining as a top digital publisher. Great, this is awesome. In terms of subject line, I'm gonna add first name, just dots. All right, great. I'm gonna add sent from my iPhone. Great. So I'm gonna run it in terms of like 5 and let's see. So we actually found the decision maker, which is awesome. Okay, and then it worked since we verified the emails. So we found it. Yeah. Let's see the second lead that's getting added. Hey Damien, Sal, the Telegraph and the W3 News directory. Congrats on delivering top digital news for the UK. Awesome. So the leads are going to be added. Hopefully you guys had value in this one. I'm going to leave you all the resources in the description. Couple like a recap for you. Essentially, we just used like an industry database, right? And then we essentially just found, we retrieved/extracted the domains from here using this extension. We added to sheets and then we used people's data labs to enrich, verify, find emails. As you can see, like the flow is gonna be a little bit different. You know, if we try, like if there was emails, etc. So we needed to kind of like have multiple routes, and then we generated the copy using AI. So hopefully you guys had value in this one. Like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.